Have you ever judged someone by how they look, only to realize later you were completely wrong? In this inspiring story, we follow two travelers, one wealthy and proud, the other humble and overlooked, as they arrive in a small village. What happens next will challenge how you see the world and remind you that true value often hides in the most unexpected places. Stay tuned for a powerful lesson you won't forget. Once upon a time in a bustling kingdom, two travelers arrived at the gates of a small, picturesque village nestled in the hills. One traveler, Elias, was a wealthy merchant dressed in fine silks, adorned with gold jewelry. The other, Mara, was a humble wanderer, clad in tattered robes and carrying only a small, worn satchel. The villagers, drawn by Elias' opulence, greeted him with enthusiasm. They invited him to the finest inn, served him the best food, and praised his every word. Mara, on the other hand, was met with skepticism and disdain. Children whispered that she was a beggar. Adults avoided her gaze. That evening, the village square was alive with music and laughter. A feast was held in Elias' honor, while Mara sat quietly by the fountain, sharing a stale piece of bread with a stray dog. Curious, a little boy named Finn approached her. "Why don't you join the feast?" he asked innocently. Mara smiled. "Sometimes it's better to watch than to partake," she replied gently. Meanwhile, Elias entertained the villagers with tales of his adventures. He spoke of grand palaces, exotic lands, and treasures beyond their imagination. But as the night wore on, Elias began to reveal a darker side. His stories turned boastful, and his laughter came at the expense of others. He bragged about exploiting the poor to amass his wealth, leaving some villagers uneasy. The next morning, disaster struck. The village's water supply, its lifeblood, had been contaminated. Panic spread as no one knew how to fix it. Elias scoffed. "I deal in treasures, not problems. Besides, I'm leaving today." He mounted his horse and rode off without a second glance. Mara, however, stepped forward. She knelt by the well, examining the water. Pulling out a book from her satchel, she began mixing herbs and minerals from nearby plants. The villagers watched skeptically, murmuring among themselves. By sundown, Mara had purified the water. She explained that she had learned the technique from a remote tribe she once lived with. Grateful, the villagers realized their mistake. "Forgive us for judging you by your appearance," said the village elder. "You've saved us." Mara smiled. It's easy to be dazzled by glitter, but true worth often hides in plain sight. From that day forward, the villagers welcomed all travelers with equal respect, remembering the lesson of the humble wanderer who saved their home. And somewhere on the horizon, Mara continued her journey, carrying with her the quiet strength of kindness and wisdom. This story is a perfect example for the famous quote, "Don't judge a book by its cover." Like and subscribe for more inspiration videos. Leave a comment on your thoughts.